Who are you? You got John Laurnedi.
John Laurnedi.
Welcome, everybody, to another exciting episode of On the Couch, where we help bridge the gap on financial literacy, talk about entrepreneurship, and just straight up everyday hard work and what it takes. I am one of your hosts, Johnny Supa. We're here with
Danny Cardozo.
And today we got a very special guest, longtime friend, dear friend, Mr. Who are you? You got John Laurnedi.
John Laurnedi.
John is a serial entrepreneur.
Depends who you ask. If you ask my wife, yeah, she'll call me cereal and a number of other things.
Yeah, there we go. So, as some of us call us crazy, never satisfied, always going for something bigger, trying to do and live your best life, I guess.
Yeah, definitely that. Best life. There's obviously a financial component to that, the financial freedom, but it's different. If you're in entrepreneurship, you're in the game. It's literally a game. And if you like video games, then you get addicted to the entrepreneurial world because that in itself is just the biggest game and it's so much fun.
Like just winning on every level?
It's not even just the winning. It's the constant challenges that you're overcoming on a day-to-day basis. Like I tell people, if you don't like problems, don't get into business for yourself. Every single day, every single minute is a challenge.
Yeah, if you want to turn it off at 5 o'clock,
you're
not you shouldn't be owning a business.
Yeah,
especially at the start. Like you can build that business to eventually, build it the way that you want it. If you want to,
I always say it's so hard for me to unplug because I've been so used to 17, 18-hour days where I get home and it's like 7 o'clock at night and I'm trying to hang out with my young children. It's like this guilty thing. You should be reading, Johnny. You should be, making those extra 5 phone calls. Are you still like that now?
I used to be. It's taken a lot of work to move away from that mentality, and that's just programming. Like you said, it's just you have this little bit of guilt.
Yeah.
It's just understanding too that the only way for you to be optimal in your business and optimal for your family is to ensure that you have at least a routine of self-care. So what took me a very long time is, like, to your point, I have 2 young boys and I want them to see their father. I want to be that figure for them. That's why I take care of myself the way I do, so that they see that and they do it and they make it part of their life.
Yeah.
So before I go home, before I get in the house, I sit in my car for about 5 minutes. I do a breathing exercise and then I literally tap the wall. So I tap the wall before I go inside. That's me saying everything that just happened in my entire life, I'm releasing it right now onto this wall, because when I go inside, it's dad mode and I have to be as present as possible.
I love that.
Yep. That's amazing.
And then as soon as I put them down, I look at my wife, I say, "Do you want to hang out?" And she'll say, "Well, I'm doing this, this, and this." Great, I'm going back to work. And if not, then I'll hang out with my wife. So it's just understanding that that you are the manager of your time. You know what I mean?
And how much of that do you call it selfishness? Where like you say, like, taking care of myself is the optimal because I want to be that figure for my kids. I want to be that figure for my family, my wife, and obviously myself. Is there a selfish part of that?
It depends. You can look at it from 2 different ways. One way you can look at it as being selfish. The other way you can look at it is the only way for you to truly be the best you can for them, you got to take care of yourself. It's the whole, when you get on an airplane, they read you the instructions and they tell you to put your mask on yourself before you put it on your kids or your
100%
dependents. There's a reason for that.
Yeah.
Because if you don't do it to yourself, you're dead. You can't do it for them. So you live life the same ways. If I don't take care of myself, they're not going to get the best of me. And then that's going to affect them in their journey.
Wow, that's powerful. And
I
use
that example.
Yeah.
Many times.
It's pretty common.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people don't really absorb that information really well.
Yeah.
Like, really sit and think about that. Who are you to the people that you love if you're not the best for yourself?
Be the best version. Absolutely. Absolutely. You made the comment, you touched the wall. People think I have these weird routines when I talk about my morning routines. I'm very much in the selfishness. I call it selfishness because my mornings are to myself. I do what I need to do to get myself into my day, whether it's mindset conditioning or exercise or it's affirmations, whatever it is that I like to do. But I have this thing with running water. I let water run while I do my my thing. So tapping the wall, I like that. And I used to have, not anymore because I've learned through habitual routines where I come into the office, I would actually like wipe my feet before I get in. And that was me checking my shit at the door and not bringing my outside life into my work life because I need to be the best version I can be during work hours. So I like that you do that touch home
So
like that.
what is your morning routine? Why don't you share that with people? Because I think routines are crucial.
Yeah, I'm very scheduled. So I block everything in my calendar. So when I wake up, the first thing I do is I hydrate. So I make sure I hydrate. I take vitamins. It's been more lately than it ever has been before.
I think that's because of the 770 program that
Yeah.
we've put together
Yeah.
for all our
So
agents.
So we put together a 70-day challenge, and just by trying to lead by example. But I've always been in the routine, I guess, game. I wake up, I hydrate, I take my vitamins. Obviously, I let 45 minutes pass. I don't know why. It's just in my head. I let 45 minutes pass. I have my espresso. I go downstairs. I turn on the TV, watch Sports Center, and I exercise for 45 minutes.
Wonderful.
Yeah. And then the kids come around me, and then my daughter tries to do the sit-ups, and my son tries to do push-ups. It's fun. It's a lot of fun. My wife is very vigorous. She does it more consistent than I do. She's all into the yoga and Pilates and stuff like that. So she does that. And I have breakfast with the family. One of the reasons why I left the corporate world and got into business for self. I did that years ago, but yeah, that's my morning routine. Very selfish. I call it selfish because it's what I've always wanted to do.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. What about you, Danny?
What are you?
Yeah.
My mornings are so my weekdays are wake up, work out. My wife is pretty good at getting the, morning breakfasts and stuff for the kids. So I'm workout, shower. By the time I'm done showering, she comes up and we switch roles. And then unfortunately, then I go from, driving kids to work, and that's trying to get here on time. And then, yeah. And then you sort of like, when you get here, it's like, you literally gotta, close your eyes and,
Yeah. And then there's a
now it's
routine
game
when we
time,
get here
like-
too.
like how it's game time. Like,
Yeah. Like,
gotta get myself in the mindset.
Absolutely. You know all about that. You play sport.
Being a goalie, growing up, I would and John was a goalie too, so I would pull myself away from the dressing room 10, 15 minutes before the game would start and grab something to block off my eyes somehow and start getting in that mindset and focusing on possible things that are going to happen during the game and whatnot, so that I'm not thinking about it during the game. It's naturally happening.
manifestation.
Same thing here, right?
Yeah, definitely.
So you seem very grounded. When did this start, and what is it that you do for a living that helps you keep your feet on the ground?
Well, that's a great question. Thank you, by the way. Let me try to summarize this. It's a lot and overwhelming for most people when they hear my routines. So I take care of myself and my body. For me, I track every component of my body.
I see you're wearing a
Whoop.
whoop, so am I.
There you go.
I'm not there yet.
Highly recommend.
Yeah, Danny's.
Yeah,
Danny's-
for those that don't know what a whoop is, it's just a more advanced health tracker for
like a
you.
Fitbit.
Yeah.
But more advanced. And it
Much
communicates with the Fitbit, actually.
Communicates with a lot of different devices. So I don't know if you even picked up We Things, the scale, the
No.
body comp scale.
No, I didn't.
So they actually have a sale because you remember it's 20% off.
Okay.
Probably one of the better scales out there. I've tried about 8 or 9 of them. They
Yeah.
all suck. This one, for the value, it's about $350. It's fantastic. It actually gives me the results that are accurate versus I bought one that was $150 from Amazon, and then it's telling me my body fat was 30%, and I'm looking in the mirror, I'm like, nah, it doesn't really look like 30%.
Yeah.
So you got to be mindful of kind of what tech but they teamed up with a great company, so it's really great. In terms of staying grounded, my routine, much like you, Johnny, I'm super regimented, selfishly, but unselfishly. I do it for myself, I do it for my family and for my businesses and the people that rely on me. My routine is in the morning, I wake up, first thing I do is I brush my teeth. I do 3 rounds of breath work. I sit down and meditate for anywhere from 10 to 30 minutes, depending on where I'm at that day. I get up, I go downstairs. Obviously, the hydration is key. I take my vitamins, I take my protocols. And then usually at that time, my son comes downstairs. So me and him will go downstairs, do 10 minutes of HIIT. Because I then go to the gym. After the kids, we all eat breakfast. They go to school. I go to the gym. I get an hour and a half in of training. And then after I'm done training, I head to the office for my day. Once I'm done that, 3:30, 4 o'clock. So I go from 10 a.m. to about 3 p.m. without just hard. And then at that point, my day officially ends for the bulk of operations, for sort of analytics, how my mind operates. And at that point, it's all about recovery and rejuvenation. So we just opened up a facility called Harbour 20 that's focused in the biohacking world. The community gives people the opportunity for them to understand their own biology and to change it themselves versus relying on the medical system for band-aid fixes. We get to the root of the issues right there on the spot.
So that's holistic.
Yeah, it's holistic in a sense. So the facility itself, we call it the Performance Center, has things like a sauna, ice baths, red light therapy, grounding therapy, hydrogen therapy, oxygen therapy. So these are the tools that you can naturally recover, rejuvenate, optimize your body. Okay, you're going to get immediate results from that. There's no guessing. You feel it instantly. And then there's level 2 to our center, which we bring in a nurse who has 20 years experience. And what we do is we get functional medicine testing done. So we're talking a blood panel with 150 markers. We measure everything. And then we look to DNA and genetic testing. Let's take a look at your genetics, see what's going on there. Any mutations that we can supplement for? Are you lacking in any type of methylation? If you are lacking in methylation, that means usually people will say, well, I can't process gluten very well. Okay, well, that's usually because there's some type of genetic deficiency or a genetic mutation. Let's see where that lies, and then we could supplement for it. Mm-hmm. So versus the whole just go in, get an IV bag, come out, and you feel good. It's all about aiming a strategy based on what your body composition is and what's going on inside. So the first step is always paneling or testing. And then from there, we schedule IV supplementation. The reason why IV supplementation is, if you go to the pharmacy, you pick up your vitamins, there's a reason why they make you take 2 vitamins 3 times a day, because the absorption rate is so low. After it's functioned through or absorbed through your body, it's going through your liver. You maybe get 10% of those vitamins and nutrients into your body. So you have to really pound your body with all these supplements for it to absorb. So we say, forget that, one shot, once a month, let me see what vitamins and nutrients my body's lacking, and let's do that on a monthly basis. Costs a lot less. You're getting 100% efficacy of the actual product in your body, and you're supplementing for what you're lacking. So you're really taking your foundation from here, it's lower level, and you're optimizing it to its best potential.
What the heck got you doing that?
Oh, there's a level 3. I'm not going to get into that. But so
okay, where are you coming from?
Yeah.
Let's start where you're coming. Where are you coming from that got you to that? Like,
so
is it always just about you? Like,
no. So
I think at a certain point in your life, like, now we're 40 years old. Like when we were 20 years old,
you guys are 40.
Well, I mean, you abuse your body, right? And then now, as you get to 40 years old, you start thinking like, wow, I got to slow down here. I got to really start focusing on my health. Whether maybe something has happened in your life or it hasn't, and you're trying to prevent it from happening.
Yep.
You start thinking about like, I got to start taking care of myself.
Absolutely.
Right. And this is probably where this came from. Like, I'm doing fastings and stuff like that now too. It's like I've never fasted once in my life, and now it's like on my mind. Like I got to take care of myself.
Yep.
So.
Absolutely. It started, the journey of biohacking started about 10 years ago. So you get this. I played goalie from the age of 4 years old till 21. We were playing 6-7 days a week. At that time, we didn't have yoga or personal trainers or any type of recovery. So did a lot of damage to my hips. One day I tried to get out of bed. I was 31 years old and I couldn't. Just everything locked up, pain. It was a scary time. So anyways, I managed to end up getting up, booked a couple appointments with some surgeons, some of the top surgeons in Ontario. And both of them said to me, you need 2 hip replacements. And I'm 31 years old. And at the time, the hip replacements would last anywhere from 12 to 15 years. So what really kind of caught my attention was one of the guys, like straight out of a movie, older gentleman, called me son. He's like, look, son. I'm like, okay. He's like, your hips have seen a lot of wear and tear. He goes, they look like they're in their late 60s. They're not going to heal. So we got to go in there and we got to either clean them up or replace them. And I'm looking at him like, wait a second. You're telling me my body can't heal itself. He's like, that's right. And right there, I'm like, I am not falling for this shit. That makes no sense to me. What you just said actually makes no sense. Logically, you're saying that if I cut my arm right now, it's not going to heal.
Yeah.
If I sprain my ankle, is it going to heal 3 months from now? So why wouldn't my hips heal? I get it. You know, the arthritis, the impingement, the bone degeneration, whatever has happened. But the labral tears, things like that, if I give my body the tools, it should repair itself in theory. So I didn't buy it. And that led me down that, and this is, you'll understand this from even getting into that mindset of sports, is when you get into that tunnel vision, nothing stops you. You got to develop that. If you don't have it, you need a sense of focus, like just sheer determination. And that got me down holistic approaches. How do I heal my own body? How do I take care of my body? What do my levels mean? So I literally bought a biology book from like high school, that like big one.
Yep.
I started reading it all myself, understanding every component of it. And then got introduced by Giovanni at Elemental to the ice plunge and the immersion, the hot cold therapy. And that for me was a game changer for, reducing my inflammation, increasing my blood flow. Then I started researching stem cells, and it was just game changer. And so every time someone asks me about what I'm doing and how I'm as fit as I am, but as mobile and agile, and I tell them, you can see their faces just like, oh, that's a lot. It's overwhelming. And, even when we're at the Biohacking conference, it's a lot of information. And for someone who's just going to be introduced to it, it could be a little bit overwhelming. So Harbour 20, in effect, was a starting point. It's very easy to comprehend. Level 1, here's a sauna, here's an ice bath, here's red light, here's grounding, here's oxygen therapy. These will immediately show you results. And then once you start building your curiosity, we can start introducing you to the next levels.
Okay, so I know what sauna is. I know what cold baths are. What's grounding?
So grounding is basically just electrical current running through your body. So, back in the day, a long time ago, we didn't wear shoes. We walked on the grass. We walked on the soil.
Yep.
There's
I see my
electric
neighbor
charge.
walking always barefoot.
Yeah. There's an electric charge running through this earth, and we're meant to be recharged by that. That flow is meant to be going through us. So if you ever look at your blood under a microscope,
Fucking shoes off right now.
right, you got to be on soil. So if you ever look at your blood under a microscope, you'll find that your red blood cells, they look like these like clumped up sort of, not balls, but just like clumps. But once you run a current through that, they all separate.
Okay.
And so you start to understand that your body actually needs that electric charge. Why? Well, if your bone marrow is releasing stem cells and you have all these clumped red blood cells together, stem cells are really large. They have no pathway to get to where they need to go. So they end up just floating around in your body, and then, because they can change their shape, form, and use, don't end up actually being utilized in your body for what they're meant to do. So by giving yourself that charge, you're freeing up your blood flow, allowing stem cells to circulate better.
And is this a process? Like I come into Harbour 20, I go and do the sauna, then a cold bath, then grounding? Or is it like one thing a day? Or
it's free flow, meaning you can do whatever you'd like. However, we do have guides that help you, and we do have what we call tabatas. So we focus more on performance versus the spiritual component, even though it may lead to something spiritual. It's not what it's for. It's meant for performance. So we have these tabatas. We have an HGH spike. We have a testosterone spike. We have an energy boost, a sleep well program. We have all these different things that you could incorporate and do however you want. So it's whether it's a tabata of sauna, ice bath, oxygen, or if it's just red light grounding, oxygen, water.
so Tabata is the package.
Yeah.
Got
It's
it.
like, here's your program, do this. This will take you about 45 minutes. If you want to do 2 rounds, you can do 2 rounds. They're 90-minute sessions. It's up to you.
No shit. So this is something that you do in your routine at end of day.
Yes,
At end of
before
work,
I go.
before you go home.
Yeah.
I think it's important to, make everyone understand that time management is what puts all this together. How do you judge all of this mindfulness and body exercise with time management? Because time just doesn't stop as much as we want it to. It doesn't. How do you do that?
That's the obsession.
A gentleman, and it's I hate to say it, I forgot his name, but he kind of drilled home a point that really resonated with me. He said, "You." When I used to say to him, "I don't have time. There's not enough time in a day," he'd look at me. He says, "Who makes time?" I said, "What do you mean?" He's like, "Who's the owner of time?" And I didn't understand. He's like, "You are." Once you realize you are the owner of time and your time, time is yours. You're no longer a slave to time. You're the master of it. And that just for me was like an instant click. I'm like, wow, if time is mine. My time management means that I control every second and every minute of it.
Yep.
And I can create and orchestrate and architect my life the way I want.
That has been my biggest challenge for forever, because I was so used to the schedule, and I got to be here at 9 and I got to be done at 5. And I have to, like, even though I'm very much into block scheduling my time, but I've never owned my own time. And I'm only most recent where it's like, well, I can stroll in at 9:30 or 10 o'clock, get to the office. There's nothing wrong with that. I can crush my day from 10 till 2, do my tasks, my crucial tasks, and get back to myself after. And it's taken me so long to get to that point. Did it take you a long time to do the same thing, or is it something that you
It takes, it's just like training. It's like anything in life. It's compound consistency,
becoming habitual?
sheer discipline and determination.
Fuck yeah. So, and I'm not the only one, thank God. Because
And when you put this time aside to accomplish these things, you start making your, let's say, your business life easier in order to, gain that extra time that you need to focus on yourself.
yeah, I think yourself is big.
Huge. I think we don't give ourselves enough time.
What about what else is on the agenda of you? I hear that you have other entrepreneurship goals.
Yeah, we're going to talk about all of them.
Well, I'm interested to know. So, as much as everyone realizes that you're in control of time, in control of your body, in control of your mind and your family, what is it that sparked your interest to do other ventures?
I guess you'd have to understand where I came from, and much like you, Johnny, I'm sure everybody here, you start with a 9 to 5 job, and you realize you have certain realizations that maybe that's not the best circumstances for you. My first business I started obviously when I was 19 years old, while I had a job, and then shortly after I ended up taking that business, and that was at 21 years old. I didn't even understand business. I just like threw me in an office. I bought an office. I'm 21 years old, and I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. But I knew how to service people. I knew I was confident with my abilities. So it was just a learning curve from there. So I think
what was the business?
I owned it was a brand management company called JP Lauren, and basically we would help startup companies create a long-lasting and memorable brand that they could use going forward. And it was really good. It was the age where, we were doing some groundbreaking technologies at that time. At that time, in the nightclubs, they didn't have you couldn't book a booth online back then. So at that time, we developed the very first Flash-based web booking table platform, if you will. So you can go online, and did it for Paul, remember Giordano?
Yep.
So we did some great stuff. And then, the world changed in 2007, 2008, financial crisis in the US. But that spawned a lot of different countries to step in and start offering services online, which hurt the business. And at that point, I decided to sell the book and get out of that business because it was no longer enjoyable.
Yeah, I know that.
So for me, when something becomes mundane, or my time, it feels strenuous on me, then that's my body telling me, hey, look, it's time to exit.
Yeah, make the move.
Find an exit. And that goes back to time. Every component of every day is yours. Do things that bring you joy. And if it doesn't, evaluate why it's on your calendar. It's that simple. But I think we're
Take notes, everybody. Yeah,
A lot of
that's a
notes to
powerful
take
one right
into
there.
it.
Yeah.
Sorry, I know I don't
So-
think I answered the full question, but
So
that was the start.
That was the start. So, if we fast forward to now, how old are you?
41.
So, you're 41
Chronologically,
chronologically, but mentally, you're
no. I am, my biology says I am 37. So I'm going with that.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I want to
Okay.
find out. I
So
want.
I'm for sure a 100-year-old man in this body.
Not a chance. I'm 22.
That's good. That's
I
excellent.
love it.
So question I had.
I will
second
never
part is,
change.
what do you do now outside of the holistic and mental well-being approach?
So I have another brand that I started back in 2013 called Peter James. It's a lifestyle and cigar brand. Well, recently cigar brand. So we started in the cigar industry creating luxury leather products. We basically created industry within the cigar industry in a new product that didn't exist. Came to market. Now you'll see a whole bunch of different products based on that one original idea. So that was, for me, a huge success. Not the money or anything like that, is the fact that we gave the world something that didn't exist. And now there's hundreds of products everywhere based on that one product, which is cool. Even though it sucks because it hurts your bottom line, it's cool. And then eventually, again, this is just listening to the universe. People would start saying, I really, like, whenever they'd ask me for feedback on cigars, I would give them my opinion. And like, wow, that's pretty accurate. I think I have a very similar palate, much like you would with tequila. And so I just started having some fun with some of the industry people that I know and making small batch blends that we'd curate together. And every single one was like, this is a hit, this is a hit, this is a hit. I'm like, all right, maybe Peter James should start making cigars. And so I started out in 2021 with our first blend. And then from that point, I learned the very crucial and key component of scale is leverage. So in 2023, we sold half the company to another company who is very big in manufacturing and distribution, partnered with them. So now we have a farm and we have a manufacturing facility in Esteli, Nicaragua. And now we make they call it uber luxury cigars. So everything is of the finest.
I just ordered my first mix pack
So
of Peter
the
James.
first one,
Yeah, I can't wait. I just got a notification this morning that they are
I
picked, now on delivery.
I think you have to smoke your first one at the undisclosed location.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think so.
I would place an order too.
Yeah, I'm super, like, I've been watching the videos and the way I love watching when you seem like a connoisseur. Like, even the way you smoke, the way even just the smoke comes out, it's wild.
In the US, a $12 to $15 cigar gets you a premium cigar.
Yeah.
You know, the upper echelon, if you want to even go there. I mean, just, Davidoff is 25 to 35 bucks a cigar in the US. Here, that's $100.
So then I have to be the devil's advocate here. Cohiba is the benchmark, is it not?
No.
Okay, so now the reason why I said that is because most people will say, well, if it's not a Cohiba, it's not really a good cigar.
Yeah, those are people who are really into labels and brands and without the education of understanding the product. So if you are somebody who enjoys a cigar and you're buying Cohibas, it's likely because you want people to see you smoking Cohibas. That's the only reason why you're smoking a Cohiba. Because I could give you a $10 cigar that tastes better than a Cohiba and smokes better than a Cohiba. And you'll never have to worry if it's going to draw, if it's going to burn correctly, and you don't have to worry about wasting $300 on a cigar. So guys will say, they'll swear up and down, Cuba is the best, Cuba is this, Cuba is that. I say, okay, great. I will give those people credit if they were smoking cigars before 2011. Cuba was phenomenal. Some of the top master blenders, some of the top rollers, some of the greatest manufacturing growing of tobacco. And then post 2000, I'd say 12, 13, right downhill.
Is it because they're selling now to all China? Because I heard that majority of their tobacco is being sold to China.
It's a culmination of different components. So first thing is demand outweighed supply. So back in the day, the Pinar del Rio, which is the main growing area of Cuba for tobacco, they characterized it, or they set it up in 4 different plots, like a quad. And what they would do is every year grow 3 plots, rest 1, because tobacco is very hard on soil. And so when the government got involved in Habanos SA and took over, and demand increased, they said, no, let's grow all 4. So now you have all 4 of their quads growing, and we're talking like super high output. There's no rest. So the quality of tobacco has been decreasing year after year. They don't, their demand is outweighing their supply. So they can say all their cigars are purely Cuban. Nobody in the industry buys it for a second. If you're a consumer, you could buy it if you want, but if you just simply look at math, it tells you it's impossible to output that many products given the hectares of land and the yield of tobacco. So what that tells me is they're using other regions' tobacco to fill their cigars, whether it's Dominican, Nicaraguan,
That's a fact.
Honduran. I'm telling you it's a fact. And they can sue me if they want, but math doesn't lie.
Because they just don't have the quantity.
They don't have the amount of tobacco. There's just not enough.
So where are they getting it from?
That I can't
Honduras,
speak.
maybe,
They're
Nicaragua, Dominican,
Dominican, Nicaragua, Honduras.
but they're still calling it they're still calling it a Cuban cigar.
Yeah, they are. I mean, I'm pretty sure there's regulations that say that the cigar has to be X amount of
X amount
Of their leaf, I
their
guess.
leaf versus whatever. I don't know what that regulation is. They won't disclose a lot
So
of
what made
information.
you go to Nicaragua? Like, I can't even know if I'm pronouncing it right. Nicaragua.
Nicaragua?
Yeah. What made you go there? Why choose that tobacco leaf? Is it the flavor? Is it the taste? Is it the way they grow it? Is it the
I don't-
blend?
Yeah, for me, it's. I love tobacco from all regions for different reasons. It's like I don't like wine just from California. I like wine from France, from Chile, for different reasons. I like it all.
It's such a great fucking topic. Like tobacco. No, like, but it's
Actually, I have 14-year-old Cubans in my car.
no, but like, what made you go there? Why did you pick that specific leaf that you wanted to
So
brand?
just so
Like you're branding
yeah,
around that.
Just so
product.
we're clear, just because we manufacture in Nicaragua doesn't mean all our tobacco is Nicaragua.
Okay.
Like the next cigar that we're releasing, which ships in August, which is called Emergence, that retails for $60 US. That is a blend of, we call it global tobacco. So we use Nicaraguan, Dominican, some American, and Brazilian. All in one cigar. It is a flavor bomb. It's like you're eating filet mignon when you're smoking it.
Interesting.
Yeah, see, I think I need to. So as we've been learning about tequila from it being on our show, always wanted to get into cigar smoking. I smoke when we're out somewhere, or my brother-in-law, and my brother will have they'll bring a cigar, and like Black Market is one of my favorite right now. I enjoy that.
I love Alec Bradley.
Yeah.
Yeah, AB.
Those.
Yeah.
They're sold.
Hey?
Good for them. The family sold the company.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So it's no longer going to be the same, probably.
Well, I mean, I'm sure it will be,
Yeah.
but it's good for them. They're the family is the Rubin family they're just top notch people. I remember when I got into the industry, his father created the company, said, forget about tobacco. He's looked at me, he goes, don't worry about the tobacco. Just make sure you're outputting a good product and make sure people like the look of it. I'm like, okay, thank you. Like, just didn't know me from Adam, gave me that advice.
That's awesome.
Good people.
Oh, that's so cool.
So, if for all the young entrepreneurs that are listening to this and they want some advice from you, what is the one piece of advice you can give these people? Dude, I come with
That's
today.
the hardest question. It's a great
The
question.
most asked question.
There's so many amazing tidbits.
They're called
First and
Timbits.
foremost, did you have any mentors in your life?
No.
Ah,
So for me, that was to this day, I talk to my business coach all the time. Is I wish I had a mentor. Mentors are not easy to find. You're giving you're basically trusting someone like you would, your dad, or to impart all this wisdom. And there was one that I thought I had, but he was a bit busy for that at that time. It just didn't work. I basically paid for everything. So consultants, private education, I did it all.
so someone's coming to you now, young 15, 16-year-old, and they're hearing your story and they're saying, wow, this is sensational. How do I get started? Not in your industry, just with the mindset that I can do it if I really dedicate myself. What's some wisdom you can give them?
You can. Mindset is key. You have to have a discipline that very few people have in this world, and most of them are top athletes and performers and business owners. And if you don't have it, develop it. Do everything you can developing this intense focus, determination, and discipline, because you're gonna need it. Okay, like to your point, you said there's no going home at 5. There's no turning it off. But if you're not turning it off and you feel incomplete and you feel like it's a grind and it's not for you, then it's the only thing that's wrong is what you're doing. What you're doing is not resonating with you, because I can tell you when I wake up in the morning, first thing that hits my mind is, what the heck am I going to do today that's going to make this business and people better and people happier?
Fuck, that's every day, man.
Every day. And I'm like, okay, the minute that stops happening,
Yeah.
I'm out. Give me my exit strategy. Let's put it up for sale or something.
It's that quick for you?
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, I mean, if someone's in mortgages and they don't feel the satisfaction of when a customer is happy that they finally closed your home because your strategy got them this mortgage that, you know, allowed them to close their home. If that doesn't satisfy you, then you shouldn't be in the mortgage business either.
Yeah.
Bingo.
Even for us as brokers, like, I mean, the joy I get coming in, trying to make agents better, us better, strategizing, creating flows and pipelines, like that is what I enjoy every single day. And the branding part, like this, you know, being on the couch, having the show is the
one more
reason
thing
why
that
we do
we
it.
love to do on the couch. Absolutely love it. We consider ourselves connoisseurs. Danny, you have something behind you that our guests brought in. Let's talk about the tequila, because that's what makes On the Couch special.
Yeah. So,
You know what
John, do you want to introduce the bottle that you brought in?
Sure.
You know, it'd be nice one day.
What do we need?
Tequila and a cigar.
Tequila and a cigar. Don't
I
look
know-
up at your ceiling.
I know,
You
have,
I know a place for your next podcast.
Do you have
to make
a
that
do you have a
happen.
couch over there that we
For
could?
real? Is there a couch there?
All right.
Is it like,
Is there a couch there?
You know what? I don't want to say anything to you guys, because the most fun I get is watching the look on your face when you open the door and you're like,
Oh, come on.
We're fucking-
You can't tease us with that and not do
I'm
anything. Yeah?
that's fun for me.
So are you on record now saying that we can use your place for one episode?
Yeah.
Johnny, the invitation's there.
yeah,
Make it
like,
happen.
I mean, we'll make that the location forever. If like, no. I think one day, it would be nice to have a cigar paired with your, like what John thinks would be the
Here's what we'll do.
the tequila.
Okay. Why don't we just have a fun day? We'll share a cigar. You can see it. And then even if I'm not here, then you can book one. If you want to do one, you book the space, and we'll make that happen. Okay.
Done. Yeah, that's awesome.
So now that you've
Okay.
tasted our taste buds, tell us, what
So-
did you bring?
I brought the Don. Okay, first of all, I just want to explain why I brought this one. So this is my second favorite choice, but this is for me is value, pure value. It can go either way. I can sip it and enjoy it, or I can throw it in a mixed cocktail, because I love my palomas. I love like pure grapefruit juice, a little bit of tequila. Like that's my summertime joy.
Sorry, say that again, because I had one last year. It was lemonade and bourbon. This summer it is grapefruit juice.
So grapefruit juice, tequila, and a splash of soda or sparkling water, whatever you want.
Done.
But
Marissa.
just make sure you find pure grapefruit juice, or you're just drinking a whole bunch of sugar.
Yeah.
Okay, pure grapefruit juice. And where am I getting that?
Mikey Fresh at Fresh House will definitely make you some.
Okay, good. He's another guy we got to get on our show.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure, for sure. Okay.
Izzy, put that on the
Yeah, put
list
it
of.
Is it? So, before you tell us about that, Johnny, why don't you tell them how we actually rate tequila on our show?
Yeah. So what we do is we rate the bottle, we rate the price, and we rate the taste out of 10, and then we give it an overall rating. We have yet to have a perfect 10 on this show. Adicion is leading the race at 9.5. Yep. So that is our leading tequila so
So I
far.
don't think yours might hit
No,
that.
I wish I would have brought the other one.
The-
Sad.
That's okay. On the next,
you'll be on it
on the
again.
next.
So explain to us what you have in your hand.
Okay, so I have the Don Julio tequila rep. So it's reposado. This on the shelf is, I think,
99 bucks.
99 bucks?
Yep.
Okay, 99
LCBO.
bucks. At the LCBO. So I'm on American prices right now. So like, yeah.
Your mind there already?
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's not like in America. It's like probably
think it's around the 58 to 60.
Yeah, I was gonna
bottle.
say like, it's so much lower. Our taxes just like
Yeah.
bump up these prices like crazy. But
That one I told you about before. I'll get the one I told you about, guys, before. So I was just I was just near Tampa. I was at Madeira Beach, and I found one at a liquor store.
I've been there too.
$120. I'm like, I'll take 2
Yeah.
for the weekend.
Holy shit.
No-brainer. Anyways, I love this tequila because, as I mentioned, it could go both ways. It's versatile for the value for the dollar. You can sip it, or you could make a nice little cocktail out of it and not feel bad that you're
So
making a
Wasting
cocktail.
expensive.
So
tequila.
let me guide you into what we're gonna do.
Okay.
So the look. Let's start off with the look. Out of 10, what are we giving it on your point of view?
I'm gonna go with an 8.5 on this one, and I'm gonna leave a 1.5 out. So just because for me, I like more. I'm bougie. I like fancier things, looking
Love it.
things.
Yes.
But I will say that for the bottle, this is Don Julio, so it's more of a traditional piece. I think it's very nice.
Let's go next to the price.
I love the price. I put any other bottle of tequila in front of this, that's $90, and I'm gonna pick this one. I think the price is a 10.
Wow. Okay. So,
Price is a 10.
let me just. We don't give 10s lightly here.
No, I'm giving it a 10. I know. Yeah. I mean, how many bottles tequila? You guys know probably tequila better than I do. If you go, right, go pull another $99 bottle that you can both sip and enjoy it. And again, this is also my palate we're talking. I'm on Johnny's boat here. I don't like heavy sweetness, or I tried that Aditivo and
It's much. Yeah.
it's much. So for me, I'm all about how do I like silky flavors, subtlety. Like this for me, since we're going into flavor, right? We're going into flavor. It's slightly nutty, but nutty like a fatty nut. So it's
That's
so it's got this silkiness to it.
Okay, I'm gonna get some glasses after we gotta try this.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're giving flavor wise.
Flavor wise, I would say it's an 8.
So overall, you're at 8.5.
Yeah, 8.5. I say this is a
That's a fair
solid
fair
grade.
mark. Johnny, you're up.
Yeah. So I'm going to go for look right away. And for me, I'm going to say exactly what John just said. The tradition, the Don Julio look, like this, like it's a bottle of tequila. Like you put it on the shelf, it screams tequila. I'm all over the look of this bottle. I think it's great because it is that traditional look. Yes, I am a bit bougie too. I do like that fancy stuff. But those fancy bottles are $500. This is $99.
Yeah, but let's pause right there. Now you gotta pour some. You gotta try it because since you haven't tried it, you can't give it the right mark.
I mean, I have tried it before. So I am a bourbon with, I love my alcohol. I know I say this, it sounds so wrong when I say it, but I love my alcohol.
Oh, you're gonna have to give me half of that. I'm a rookie.
yeah. That's not. I got a full day ahead of me still.
Yeah.
It's all time management.
Okay, so now we gotta go sweat this out in the sauna.
I'm definitely going to come by that place. I got to figure out.
I got some. I'll give you guys some passes. I got them in the car.
So
First salute.
cheers, John. Congratulations on all your success. So much more. Cheers.
Boys.
All right. So now, Johnny, the official taste and rating.
It's tequila.
That's tequila.
I feel like can producer jump in for a second? I feel like I can have this tequila anywhere with anything. It's one of those tequilas where you try, you're like, I can put this, I can do anything, everything with it. Am I
Okay.
wrong?
See, here's what it is for me. 20 years ago, I wouldn't touch tequila anymore. It was like, it gave me that. But that's because we drank so much Blanco. It was so shit. It was all bar
It
rail
wasn't
tequila.
even the good Blanco.
Yeah.
It was like
Tequila poppers in Acapulco.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. Why did you do the head like that?
Because that's what they do. They bang your head around, and then I'm not gonna go forward. But that's what
This to me is a great tasting Reposado. Like it tastes well. This is great. This is really good.
Let's hear some marks. What are we actually giving it? Flavor wise.
Okay, price wise, so for me, the $99. If I say it the way John, if I take it the way John said it, put another $99 bottle next to it, yeah, this is probably going to win every day of the week. So for price, I'm going to give it that 8.
Okay.
For the taste, it's going to get an 8.
Okay.
And
appearance?
the appearance is
You
solid,
like the
man.
saloon tequila look.
I
can see that in
love
the
it. It
saloon.
is my favorite looking bottles. I love these. Like, you know, it's tequila. So that's 9.5 for me.
So you're
So-
overall in that.
8.5. Yeah.
So I'll start by rating the bottle, and although it does look like your tequila bottle and what it should look like,
it.
I'm not going to say I don't like it, but rating a 9 or 9.5, I'm looking at a porcelain or a, a custom painted one that, you get in a lot of these higher end tequilas. So I'll put this at a 7.5 for the look. Taste wise, for a reposado, it's exactly what it should taste like as a reposado, if you ask me. I enjoy reposados, and like Johnny, for both of the same reasons. You can sip it and you can mix it.
Yep.
Personally, those are the tequilas I like to purchase at home.
What's the mark?
90. Sorry.
What are you looking at?
Oh, for taste, I'll give it a nice 8.
Okay.
So-
As per
No, for cost, you mean you're going to give it an 8.
for cost.
Flavor, you didn't get the
Oh,
flavor
I
yet.
didn't get the flavor yet, so yeah, it's okay. Well,
Jeez,
if I
you
get
had
it for
one sip.
So
that
flavor wise,
happens.
no, pardon me, flavor wise you did, yeah. Cost.
flavor wise, for
Cost-wise,
cost,
yeah.
right? A $99 bottle of Reposado, it's sort of there. I'll give it an 8.
So you're about an 8.
I'm about an 8 overall on this bottle.
Here's the thing with pairing, and I want to make it clear. You can drink any alcohol or any beverage with a cigar.
So to my brother-in-law who
Can
thinks
you?
it has
I don't think so.
Hold on a second.
Yeah.
I'm going to get to it.
Yeah.
You can do whatever you want, okay? However, if you want to pair, and what we mean by pairing is how does the alcohol enhance the flavor of the cigar?
Yep.
That is a pairing.
Yeah.
Tequila is probably the worst alcohol to pair with a cigar.
Okay, so we're going to
There's absolutely, that I'm aware of, I mean, and I've tried a lot, none that will enhance attributes of the flavor of a cigar.
Interesting to know.
which is why I haven't paired any of them yet. But so okay, we're gonna scratch
I mean,
that.
I've-
So what
I've
would you pair with
tried-
a cigar? Is it a whiskey, a bourbon? Is it a scotch?
To be fair,
A rum?
I'm gonna go back in time because I don't really drink too much alcohol with cigars now because I enjoy the flavor of the cigar itself on its own. But the type of cigar matters and how you pair it with what. So, as an example, I would do a lot of very fine rums, aged rums. Bourbon is very difficult, but when you get it right, it's phenomenal. Same with Scotch. Scotch can be very delicate when you're pairing it with a cigar, but when you get it right in terms of how the peat interacts with different types of flavored tobacco, it's phenomenal. But it's a journey, man. It takes time.
Yeah, I would.
I found Scotch being the number one.
I don't like it. It gives me this fucking ball right
Because
here.
you
man.
probably had really cheap scotch then.
What kind
No.
of Scotch was it?
No, we're talking like Glenmorangie or like
Glenfiddich.
yeah.
So stick to a Scotch that is a little softer. So don't go anything with too much peat. So like, for instance, just a simple Macallan 12 or Macallan
Yeah, I was going to say a 12 or an 18.
18
would be
Macallan.
Yeah.
And then what you're going to want to do is find a cigar that's medium bodied. Okay, medium bodied with sort of floral and nutty notes.
Okay.
If you go with anything on the spice end, the spice or the heat will counteract with the Scotch and give you that throat burn.
Yeah, that's what I get that like ball. Okay, so last question. I have your mix pack on its way. I'm heading to the Dominican. What am I'm obviously I'm going to be drinking. So what am I doing? I got my brother and I got my brother-in-law.
We're taking our Nicaraguan cigars over to the Dominican.
Yes, sir.
Awesome.
And I'm going to make sure I'm going to take your label. You tell me what you want to do you want any publicity stunts while I'm there? I'll put your label somewhere.
Actually, that label,
What would you pair it with?
okay, so you bought the Habano and the Maduro.
Yes.
The Habano, personally, I would pair with a white wine.
Oh,
A white wine,
white wine.
nothing like a shard, something buttery, nothing better. But if you want to go with an alcohol, like a hard liquor, then I'm gonna go over to a nice aged rum, which you'll have no problem
I'm
finding.
starting to really
in Dominican.
enjoy nice aged rum.
I had this who did I have this conversation with the other day? Somebody was talking about aged rum. I'm like, yeah, I enjoy. Oh, my neighbor.
I don't have many bottles,
Yeah.
but it's on my checklist of bottles to purchase.
You don't have any?
No, not,
Zacapa
no.
XO. And if you don't find it here, tell me, message me, and I'll bring it back from the US every time I come back.
Awesome.
So with that note, which we could talk for another
Okay, so
4 hours.
white wine and
Any type
aged
of
rum.
aged rum.
Awesome.
And then on the Maduro, that you can do with I know you don't like scotch.
No, I do like scotch.
You like
I
scotch?
I do. Yes.
Okay, you can try that with a scotch or a bourbon. My preference is a Blanton's classic, just the regular original Blanton's. And that cigar, because it's super flavored, like a lot of flavor. Dark chocolate, leather, espresso.
Oh, I can't wait. I'm so excited. Like,
It's awesome.
yeah, I'm
I'm
so
definitely gonna
stoked.
place an order.
All right.
All right, so
We've come to that time, Johnny. We have to come to that time because this is a 2-part episode now.
Yeah.
no, it's not. All right, so Johnny, where can they find you? Where can they find your cigars? And
And Harbour 20 for sure.
Harbour
Yeah.
20. You can find, I mean, you can find me on Instagram at John Peter Laurnedi. I'll confirm your follow request. Harbour 20 at Harbour 20 on Instagram. Harbour 20 is located at 7600 Highway 27 in Woodbridge, Unit 14.
If they wanted more information about Harbour 20,
www.harbor, Harbour,
And is it
20.com.
is it a membership style, or could
Yes.
you just be a one-time? Let me try it out. Like, how does that work?
So it is a members only facility.
Okay.
However, the way to combat that, if you just want to try it out, you get a starter membership. It's $19 for the month. That allows you access to the facility and all the amenities. And then it's like an a la carte. You book whatever you want and you pay for it. Yeah.
oh, okay,
Cancel anytime. There's no waiting periods or any of that BS.
I'm awesome. That sounds awesome.
John, where can they find you guys now that you're not as interesting as our guest anymore?
Yeah, no, this is why we have the show. Like, we want to listen. I have to say this. John's been a friend. I mean, we not talk every day, but John's been a friend for 30. Guys, it's going to be 30 years soon.
It's a long time.
30 years. And the fact that we all come from the same side of the street, went to the same school, and we're all thriving and succeeding and trying to get to this place of sure freedom, whatever it is that we're going for. I love it. I love the fact that we personally know each other. So good on you, man. Good on you for doing what you're doing, and the fact that you're building something like this cigar brand. Like, I love it. I love it. So keep going. Keep going. And Harbour 20, guys, get out there, support local entrepreneurs, because this is what it's about. You can find us here in Bolton at 12 Par Boulevard at Your Nesta Financial. You can find us on the Couch podcast on Spotify, YouTube, all streaming platforms. I guess we're almost there. Like, share, comment, guys. Please share the show so we can grow. And Danny,
Just find me on Instagram, Mortgages by Danny C.
that's it, guys. So thank you very, very much. This was a killer episode. I can't wait for the next. And dude, God bless, man. Thanks for coming out, man. Yeah.
Till the next one. See you later.
Well,